Welcome to today's scary story session. These stories are not for the faint of heart, so be prepared to be scared out of your wits. If you enjoy being scared and want to hear more stories like these, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a scary story session. Let's get started. My hands trembled as I stood before the door of my new apartment, my heart pounding in my chest. This was my chance to leave behind the haunting echoes of my past, to embrace a future filled with hope and light. Little did I know that within these walls, darkness lay in wait, ready to consume everything I held dear. Brett, my new roommate, greeted me with a disarming smile and a firm handshake. His charm was undeniable, his charisma magnetic. But behind those sparkling eyes, there was something unsettling, a flicker of malevolence that sent a shiver down my spine. Days turned into weeks, and an unrelenting sense of unease settled in the air. Shadows danced along the walls, whispering secrets I couldn't decipher. Sleep became my enemy, as nightmares invaded my restless nights, leaving me weary and haunted by visions I couldn't quite remember upon waking. One fateful night, I awoke to the sound of muffled footsteps echoing through the apartment. My heart raced in my chest as I cautiously ventured into the darkness, following the unsettling noise that led me closer to the living room. And there, bathed in the dim glow of moonlight, I witnessed a sight that would forever sear itself into my soul. Brett, clad in the darkest of clothing, stood hunched over a table, a wicked gleam in his eyes. My breath caught in my throat as I watched him meticulously clean a knife, its blade stained with a chilling shade of crimson. Paranoia gripped my every thought as I navigated the treacherous waters of suspicion and fear. I knew I had to tread carefully, concealing my growing certainty of Brett's true nature. Desperation fueled my search for evidence, driving me deeper into the labyrinth of his secrets. I discovered hidden compartments within his wardrobe, revealing a chilling collection of photographs and newspaper clippings, a testament to his unspeakable acts of violence. My mind became a battleground, teetering on the precipice of sanity. Doubt gnawed at my resolve, threatening to drown me in a sea of uncertainty. But the mounting evidence, like an insidious tide, couldn't be ignored. I swore to myself that I would expose Brett's vile deeds and put an end to his reign of terror. With each passing day, the danger escalated, a sinister dance between predator and prey. Brett grew aware of my suspicions, setting in motion a twisted game of cat and mouse within the confining walls of our apartment. Every creaking floorboard, every hushed whisper, heightened the palpable tension, as if the very air crackled with an electrifying malevolence. Sleep eluded me entirely, my eyes bloodshot and weary. Shadows morphed into menacing phantoms, clawing at my sanity. Fear had become my constant companion, its icy grip tightening with every breath I took. In a heart-stopping climax, I confronted Brett, armed not only with the evidence I had painstakingly gathered but also with an unwavering determination to survive. Our apartment transformed into a den of horrors, the stage for a deadly showdown between good and evil. Secrets were laid bare, alliances shattered, and darkness devoured everything in its path. As the dust settled and the truth spilled forth like crimson ink on a page, the room seemed to grow smaller, suffocating me with the weight of the revelation. Brett's facade shattered, revealing the monster that had been lurking beneath. Panic coursed through my veins, threatening to overwhelm me, but I couldn't afford to succumb to fear. Brett's eyes widened, his lips curling into a snarl of desperation as he realized that his carefully constructed web of deceit was unraveling before him. In that moment, I saw a flicker of madness dance in his gaze. He lunged towards me, driven by a desperate desire to silence me forever. I stumbled backward, narrowly avoiding his outstretched grasp. Adrenaline surged through my veins, propelling me to fight back against the darkness that had ensnared my life. Furniture crashed, shattering the silence as we grappled with each other. A battle of wills played out in the cramped confines of our apartment. With every blow I struck, Brett's desperation grew, fueled by the fear of exposure. He fought like a cornered animal, his every movement a calculated attempt to reclaim the upper hand. But I refused to be his victim. The taste of survival burned on my tongue, driving me forward. As we struggled, the room transformed into a distorted realm of chaos. Shadows danced along the walls, their twisted forms mocking the struggle for life that unfolded before them. It was a battle fought not only with fists and willpower but also with the darkness that threatened to consume us both. Finally, with one decisive blow, I managed to free myself from Brett's grasp. He staggered backward, his eyes wide with disbelief and fury. In that moment, I saw the truth etched upon his face, the knowledge that his reign of terror was coming to an end. Gasping for breath, I backed away, my body trembling with the sheer intensity of the encounter. Brett's rage transformed into a cruel smile, a chilling reminder of the malevolence that had lurked beneath his charming facade all along. With a swift motion, he reached for the knife, his desperate desire to keep his secret hidden overriding any sense of self-preservation. Fear and determination intertwined within me as I scrambled to find a means of defense. Time seemed to slow, the air thick with impending doom. And then, with a surge of courage, I lunged forward, my instincts taking control. The room erupted in a symphony of violence and desperation, the clash of steel against steel reverberating through the apartment. I fought with every ounce of strength I possessed, my vision focused solely on survival. The sound of Brett's maniacal laughter mingled with the symphony, a haunting soundtrack to the battle that raged between us. Finally, in a final act of defiance, I delivered a blow that sent Brett crashing to the ground. His grip on the knife faltered, and it clattered against the floor, its deadly glimmer extinguished. He lay there, defeated and broken, the weight of his crimes finally catching up to him. Silence settled over the apartment, broken only by ragged gasps for breath. As I stood there, covered in sweat and trembling, I realized that I had emerged from the depths of darkness victorious. Brett, the monster who had infiltrated my life, lay defeated at my feet. Years later, I reflect on the horrors I endured and the strength I discovered within myself. The scars, both visible and hidden, serve as a constant reminder of the darkness that once threatened to consume me. But I refuse to let it define me. I embarked on a solitary journey, seeking respite from the chaos of life. The sun began its descent, casting elongated shadows across the highway. Fatigue clung to my weary bones, urging me to seek refuge. A flickering neon sign emerged from the darkness, the Whispering Pines Motel, a haven for travelers. Intrigued and tired, I veered off the highway, unaware of the sinister web that awaited me. The motel stood isolated, its dilapidated exterior echoing the weariness I carried within. Entering the dimly lit lobby, a chill slithered down my spine as I met the proprietor, a man with a deceitful smile and piercing eyes that seemed to hold untold secrets. Ignoring the initial unease, I took the key to my room, oblivious to the horrors lurking within. Within the room, an oppressive silence hung in the air. Uneasy footsteps echoed on creaking floorboards as I ventured forth, stumbling upon a hidden door concealed behind a frayed tapestry. Curiosity propelled me forward, into a hidden maze of forgotten corridors. Whispers filled the darkness, their unsettling symphony haunting my senses. Through a small peephole, I discovered the motel's twisted secret. Hidden compartments within the walls held captive souls, trapped, desperate whispers echoing their plight. My heart raced as I witnessed a macabre theater of despair, watching through the peephole as unseen eyes stared back, unaware of my presence. Night fell, and the motel owner shed his facade of kindness. His smile contorted into a malevolent grin, his eyes gleaming with sadistic pleasure. A shiver of terror coursed through me, as I realized I had become his unwilling prey. I was ensnared within his malicious game, his every action calculated to prolong my suffering. The night wore on, plunging me deeper into a harrowing abyss. The walls seemed to shift and twist, leading me further into a nightmarish labyrinth. Fear tightened its grip around my throat, my senses overwhelmed by the grotesque whispers that reverberated through the motel's cursed corridors. As the midnight hour loomed, the motel transformed into a maleficent stage. Claustrophobic walls closed in, the air turned icy, and the whispers grew deafening. In a desperate bid for survival, I navigated the owner's sadistic traps, my emotions oscillating between paralyzing terror and unwavering determination. In the depths of despair, I stumbled upon a hidden passage, an escape route to the outside world. With trembling hands, I pushed open the door, a gust of frigid air filling my lungs like a lifeline. Tears of relief streamed down my face as I sprinted towards the light, leaving the horrors of the motel behind. From my hiding spot, I watched with bated breath as the police vehicle screeched to a halt outside the motel. Relief washed over me as uniformed officers swarmed the premises, their flashlights piercing the darkness like beacons of hope. The moment of reckoning had arrived, and justice would finally prevail. But as the officers entered the motel, their determined footsteps echoing through the night, a chilling realization sent a jolt of panic through my veins. I had been discovered. The owner, sensing my escape, unleashed a blood-curdling scream of fury, his voice reverberating through the corridors like a banshee's cry. My heart raced, pounding against my chest as if trying to break free. I darted through the maze-like hallways, my footsteps silenced by the fear that consumed me. Shadows danced along the walls, mocking my desperate attempt to evade capture. Just as I reached the main exit, a door swung open with a resounding crash. The owner stood there, his eyes filled with a deranged fury. Time slowed to a crawl, and our gazes locked, an intense battle of wills that held the weight of my survival. With every ounce of strength and determination, I lunged forward, slipping through the narrowing gap of the closing door. The owner's fingers brushed against my sleeve, a fleeting touch that sent shivers down my spine. I could almost taste the despair of his defeat as the door slammed shut, leaving him trapped within the confines of his own malevolence. Outside, the night air greeted me like a long-lost friend. My lungs gasped for precious oxygen as I stumbled away from the motel, my legs threatening to give way beneath me. A mix of relief and disbelief surged through my veins, mingling with the lingering terror that had taken root within my soul. I watched from a hidden vantage point as the police scoured the motel, their flashlights illuminating the dark corners that had concealed the owner's wicked deeds for far too long. But as they combed through every room and secret compartment, Their determined search yielded no trace of him. He had vanished into the night, leaving behind only the echoes of his malevolence. As the sun began to rise, casting a soft glow over the scene of my narrow escape, I knew that I had overcome the clutches of darkness. The motel stood as a haunting reminder of the horrors that had transpired within its walls, but I was free to heal, free to reclaim my life from the suffocating grip of fear.